Okay guys, here's part 2. This is graphing cosine. So again, the idea behind this is the same. The only thing that differs is our parent points. They start at 1 instead of 0, but it follows the same pattern. So sine was 0, 1, 0, negative 1. Cosine is 1, 0, negative 1, and then so on and so forth following that pattern. So again, 2 examples here. One has an A and a K, and another one has an A, H, and a K. And we'll talk about what happens when you've got the negatives. So again, first thing I'm going to do is identify my A, H, and K. As we can see here, I've got a number in front of cosine. That means that my A is 2. Okay, there is nothing next to my theta. There are no radians. So that means that my H is 0. And then lastly, I have a K of 1. That is a whole number. Okay, so before I start graphing with A, H, and K, I'm going to go through and plot my parent. So remember, cosine, we start at 1. So this is going to be 1, 0, negative 1, 0, 1. And then again, I'm following the pattern also going the other way. So I have 0, 1, 0, negative 1, 0, 1. Okay, so I've got that pattern going in both directions. Okay, my next step on here is to do my multiplier of A if I've got one. Again, everything here is variations of 1s and 0s. So when you multiply that A in, all you're doing is either multiplying 1 or negative 1 by that A or 0. So in this case it's 2, so my 1s become 2s, my 0s stay the same, my negative 1s become negative 2s. So going ahead and plotting that in, 1 becomes 2, that's going to be up here, 0 stays, this is going to be a negative 2, 0, 2, 0, negative 2, 0, and 2. Okay, lastly, I move HK. My H is left, right, my K is up, down. In this case scenario, my H is 0, so I'm not moving left or right. All I'm doing is moving up 1. Remember, K, if it's positive, you go up. If it's negative, you go down. So moving everything up 1 unit puts this right here. So up 1, 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 and then up 1. So my blue is the last, so that's what I'm going to connect in. And remember guys, it is a wave, so this is just going to kind of be better. And there we go. Okay, all there is to it. Okay, let's look at the next one. We've got a negative here. So I've got y is equal to negative cosine x minus pi over 2 plus 1. Again, I want to identify A, H, and K. Here I've got a negative, which means that my A is going to be a negative 1. H, I have a negative pi over 2. H, of course, moves in the opposite direction. So that is a positive, let me scooch over here, pi over 2. And then lastly, I have a K that is a positive 1. So I'm going up 1 once again. So again, before I do anything, I want to go ahead and mark my parent function. My cosine starts at 1. So I have 1, 0, negative 1, 0, 1. And then I also move in the back direction. So 1, 0, negative 1, 0, and 1. Okay, when we have an A of negative 1, that just means that I'm multiplying all of those values by negative 1. So my positive ones turn into negative 1s, my negative 1s turn into positive 1, and my 0 stays the same. So positive 1 turns into a negative 1, 0, and then it's just the same pattern. 1, 0, negative 1, 0, 1, 0, negative 1. Okay? Lastly, I need to move HK. So in this case, I do have an H, which is pi over 2, and I have a K that is 1. So again, all of these increments on the graph are in terms of pi over 2. Okay? And that means that I'm moving 1 unit to the right. So based on this, I'm moving 1 unit to the right and 1 unit up. And that's from the green, which is my second. So 1 to the right, 1 up. 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 1 to the right. Oops, sorry. one up, one to the right, one up, one to the right, one up, one to the right, one up. And then I can also do one to the right and one up here to give me that whole thing, okay? And again, all I'm doing is connecting in a wave. You can kind of see that happening right there, okay? That's it, that's all there is to it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to do our chat tomorrow afternoon. See you guys then, bye.